Welcome to our channel. Today, we are delving into one of the most harrowing chapters in human history, the nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. Prepare yourself for a journey into the events that changed the course of history and demonstrated the terrifying power of nuclear weapons. As the world was engulfed in the flames of World War II, the Allies were seeking a decisive end to the conflict with Japan. The Pacific theater was a battleground of epic proportions, with countless lives lost and cities turned to rubble. Amidst this chaos, a secret project was underway, one that would alter the very fabric of warfare: the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project, initiated in 1942, was a massive, clandestine operation aimed at developing an atomic bomb, spearheaded by some of the greatest scientific minds, including J. Robert Oppenheimer, Enrico Fermi, and Niels Bohr. This project was a race against time and Nazi Germany's own nuclear ambitions. By mid-1945, the war in Europe had ended, but Japan remained defiant. The United States faced a daunting prospect: a protracted and bloody invasion of the Japanese mainland. Military estimates predicted enormous casualties on both sides. President Harry S. Truman, newly in office after Franklin D. Roosevelt's death, was confronted with a decision of unprecedented magnitude. Truman and his advisors debated the morality and necessity of using the atomic bomb. Could such a weapon truly be unleashed upon civilians? The argument for its use was that it would bring a swift end to the war and save countless lives that would otherwise be lost in a drawn-out conflict. The decision was made: the bomb would be used. On the morning of August 6, 1945, the people of Hiroshima went about their daily routines, unaware of the doom approaching from the sky. At 8:15 a.m., the Enola Gay AB-29 bomber, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, dropped a single bomb codenamed Little Bo. The bomb exploded approximately 1,900 feet above the city, releasing an immense burst of energy. In an instant, Hiroshima was engulfed in a blinding flash of light. The temperature at the epicenter soared to several million degrees Celsius. A ferocious shockwave ripped through the city, followed by a mushroom cloud that climbed miles into the sky. Buildings were obliterated, and fires erupted, consuming everything in their path. Tens of thousands of people were killed instantly. Those who survived the initial blast were subjected to horrific burns, radiation sickness, and injuries from flying debris. The city was transformed into a hellscape of destruction and human suffering. Despite the devastation of Hiroshima, Japan did not immediately surrender. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, a second bomb codenamed Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki. The target was initially the city of Kokura, but due to poor visibility, the mission was redirected to Nagasaki. At 11:02 a.m., Fat Man detonated over Nagasaki. Though the terrain of the city, with its surrounding hills, somewhat contained the blast, the destruction was still catastrophic. Over 40,000 people were killed instantly, with many more dying from injuries and radiation exposure in the weeks and months that followed. The immediate aftermath of the bombings was beyond comprehension. Both cities lay in ruins, with survivors wandering through the desolation, searching for loved ones, water, and shelter. The psychological impact was profound. Fear, confusion, and despair permeated the air. Radiation sickness, a cruel and invisible killer, claimed many more lives in the days and years that followed. Survivors, known as hibakusha, suffered from long-term health effects, including cancers and genetic damage. The bombings left an indelible mark on the collective psyche of Japan and the world. The use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki sparked an intense ethical debate that continues to this day. Was it necessary to use such a weapon of mass destruction? Could Japan have been compelled to surrender through other means? These questions have no easy answers. On one hand, the bombings undoubtedly hastened the end of World War II, potentially saving more lives than a protracted invasion would have cost. On the other hand, the moral implications of targeting civilians with such a devastating weapon are deeply troubling. The bombings set a precedent for the use of nuclear weapons and highlighted the destructive potential of human ingenuity when harnessed for war. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki usher in the nuclear age, a period characterized by the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. The sheer destructiveness of the atomic bomb served as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences of nuclear war. In the aftermath, international efforts to control and limit nuclear weapons gained momentum. The establishment of the United Nations and subsequent treaties aimed at nuclear disarmament were direct responses to the horrors witnessed in Japan. Hiroshima and Nagasaki also became symbols of peace and resilience. Both cities have been rebuilt and now stand as reminders of the need for nuclear disarmament and the promotion of global peace. The annual memorial ceremonies in these cities serve as solemn reminders of the past and a call to prevent such tragedies in the future.